Okay, so I hope you guys are sitting down for this because you're about to have your mind absolutely blown. If, like me, you haven't really been keeping up to date with any of the Rome Remastered mods because, you know, the game was a little bit of a disappointment on launch, well, now is your call to go ahead and reinstall this game because the new Imperium Surrectum update has absolutely blown me away. This mod has come such a long way since the initial release and now is in such a beautiful state. And here it comes, something that's about to blow your mind. The campaign map for this mod has over 1,800 regions and cities on it. Yes, you heard me correctly, 1,800. This is truly the definition of grand scale, grand strategy. And not only that, it also has a total of 54 playable factions. There are 50 unplayable ones actually on the campaign map itself. They have expanded religions, I believe, with over 48 religions spanning their 1,800 settlements. There are now 4 turns per year with increased recruitment and building times to really give you kind of that feel of building an empire. There are over hundreds of new accolades and researches and unit descriptions. There are over 64 reforms, so stuff like the Marian reform, the Greek reforms, all of that stuff across all the new different factions. There are extreme modes for people who kind of find the AI a little bit too easy and just want to feel like the Rome that Hannibal is at the gates. The barbarians are scratching at the doors of Rome. On top of that, there is also a brand new area of recruitment system across the entire campaign map, across all 1,800 plus regions. So depending on where you are on the map, you're going to be able to recruit certain units to represent that region. And of course, so much more. And on top of that as well, I've got to say, they've made the battle units, like not only do the Rome Remastered units actually look really good, and I think Feral Interactive, the guys who made the remaster, actually did a great job with the actual aesthetic of the unit, but then the Imperium Surrectum team have taken it a step forward, and honestly, this game, you know, from certain angles could look like it came out, you know, recently, which is definitely an impressive achievement. So let's start off then. Let's dive in and I'll show you guys exactly about everything that this mod does have to offer. I'll also leave a link to it down below in the description if you guys want to check it out. So here we go. This is all the factions that you can play from, and again, as I said, it can go ahead and spur across the world. You can see the sheer scale of the campaign map itself, and it's really cool. This is something that I think more modern Total War games definitely do lack. In Warhammer, for example, you're playing as Cole Franz with his 1 or 2 settlements to begin with, whereas, you know, in Imperium Surrectum, I'm too used to the Rome Total War one, you know, you do feel like you are taking command of a pre-existing kingdom. For example, Rome has a lot of territory, Carthage has a lot of territory, but if I wanted to maybe have a bit more of a challenge and play something like Sparta, I'm only going to have a handful of settlements to begin with, and that's completely different than playing as Carthage, who are going to have, probably with the new update, you know, probably about 30-40 settlements to begin with. So as we dive into the campaign, you guys are going to get a real good glimpse of stuff. Again, there is some nice tutorial stuff here giving you advices on how to kind of build up your economy and stuff, because again, you know, different stuff all plays into this. It isn't just like vanilla with a brand new map. It does have tons of different stuff, like unit upkeep is way more expensive, so managing your armies is going to be really important, and obviously, you know, kind of funding them. And again, because we have so many more settlements to mess around with, that's also going to kind of apply into that. You're going to have to save up a bank. Like, we're making 11,000 gold every single turn. However, that's also going to change because buildings are going to be more expensive, and other stuff is going to kind of play up, you know, like, you know, with the fact that troop income and other stuff has all been made expensive. But yeah, this is it. So this is the starting of the Roman Empire, and it is truly impressive. Look at just how many settlements are in this map alone. It is, yeah, actually insane to see. And as I said, graphically, it looks really good. The armies look amazing, and managing your forces is going to be pretty important. Also, you know, the movement as well. You know, this is the movement of a Roman settlement, so you're going to have to take these turns. And it just brings me back to the good old days of Rome Total War, you know, like where I actually have to plan out my expansion. If I want to go and reinforce the armies in the north, it's going to take me time to leave, especially when I can only recruit, when the Marian reforms happen, Roman units, inside of Italy. And that's going to take me time to, ship my soldiers out into the far wests of the Roman Empire. So, of course, Roma Surrectum has gone in and they've changed up a lot of the buildings and stuff, which you can explore with. There are plenty more to mess around with, especially in stuff like trade. That's going to be really important. Grain imports is going to have to be, kind of pretty crucial if you want to go ahead and have a working civilization, especially now as well with the 4 turns per year. Again, you're gonna, it takes 8 turns to build an army barracks. Again, this is not going to be a campaign that you rush over and you get everything within the first couple of turns. It's going to be slow and methodical, and your expansion is going to have to be exactly that. Of course, you have to worry about population, which is very dynamic as well. When you recruit soldiers, it's going to take away from the population of the settlement, and again, that's going to be something you're going to have to obviously keep a track on and build up certain kind of military settlements to fill that exact function. If I go to the overview map as well, you can get a real good glimpse of just the settlements inside of Italy. Don't worry though, we will be expanding out in a second, but you can see there is a lot here, and this can be kind of overwhelming. I imagine some people will be like, oh, this is too much for me to manage and worry about, but you can also just stick these settlements under automation as well, like just let them do construction and focus on like financial stuff. I imagine they have gone in and kind of affected this up as well, so that it's a bit more effective, and just let these kind of build up. I would probably always just do my own recruitment everywhere where I need to, but I imagine, yeah, you'll just stick a bunch of stuff on automated, or just kind of go through your settlements bit by bit and kind of build up specific like capitals of the region rather than anything else, and have your like military production and your money making settlements, and then kind of just be really happy with that. And I think these map modes are going to be pretty important when coming to like to kind of think about that. Is like, yeah, you're going to be going on the development map mode, seeing where your settlements are kind of pushing forward, and then kind of expanding that. Not every settlement is going to be your Rome. Not every settlement is going to be this kind of marble of civilization, and you're going to have to worry about like rebellions and other stuff like that to deal with, which is super exciting. But yeah, now let's use a little bit of the sneaky toggle fog of war, because I want to show you the entire map, because my lord, is it expansive. Again, look at Sicily. Like, again, it just feels so exciting, because like Sicily will be an entire campaign on its own, kind of back and forth against the AI. Again, this is so cool. So again, Sicily, we've got all of Carthage as well. Look at it, just the sheer scale of it. And the settlements aren't just like plopped around everywhere. They're dense in the areas that they were dense historically. Like in Spain, they're over this kind of very important river. There's lots of settlements around it. There's farmland everywhere. It makes sense where they are. Again, Spain itself. Imagine like Spain. Yeah, Spain is like an expansion in its own. Your invasion of Gaul will be a long time going. Britain, again, look at it. The sheer scale of it is intense and pretty impressive. And as factions expand out, it's going to be just bigger and bigger, and again, more and more powerful. Kind of as Macedon trying to conquer the entirety of the Greek islands is going to be super hard. When you want to push out to the west, again, all these supply lines and terrain are going to be hard, and you go all the way out. Like the map even goes all the way out into the kind of the stretches as you start to get into India, and again, you can see where the settlements are based all around the rivers and other stuff like that. If we actually go to the tactical map, and I think the game might lag a little bit as we do it, because again, you wouldn't normally be seeing this much, but it does work pretty nicely. And then boom, look at the settlements. Look at it, man. Simply look at it. Yeah, it doesn't actually look that crazy when you zoom all the way out like this, but still, it's pretty impressive, right? It is really impressive. Yeah, when you zoom out like this, it's like, it's actually not that bad. But when you zoom in, you're like, wow, that is dense. This is truly a campaign, like old, and I'm just so happy. This does make me super excited to actually mess around with this. Isn't it insane as well, just how amazing these speeches were? So we've dived over to the battle because I wanted to show off like the battles and how good they actually look. Like, again, it looks great. It is pouring down with rain, but again, I wanted to kind of show off something a little bit different. I mean, if you just zoom in, like, again, like if you go at like a slight distance like this could quite easily be like Rome 2, like, again, stuff like DEI looks incredible, don't get me wrong, but like, that is not bad graphically whatsoever. So for those of you who are maybe like, the game just feels so outdated, like, again, if you fight from like literally a slight distance, I think the models look great. And again, it's only when you get super close, you're like, oh, the faces are a little bit weird, but then the detail that they've done on the armors and the weapons are actually really, really impressive. And the game, yeah, looks incredible. Again, if we make our way over here to the factions of Carthage who we're fighting, again, the armors, the weapons look really, really impressive. And of course, they've completely redone how battles work, making them slower, improving certain units, making fatigue way more important. The stuff you would expect from a more hardcore mod in its own right. And yeah, I mean, that looks great. You know, that looks really impressive. You got to give them props here with what they've done. You know, with such an old game, even with a remaster, it is still Rome Total War, and they've done such an impressive job with the modding. One of the nicest things as well whenever you're playing this is just all the new features, like being able to move formations in their entirety is just so good. So you have like all the new like updated feelings and of the newer titles, and yeah, it's pretty juicy. All the commanders and the officers, look at that. Oh my lord, beautiful. How many of you like have done this as a kid as well? I imagine probably many of you watching this probably did do this. Just line up lines of Pila and just thrown at the enemy, charged into them, got stuck in. Oh man, I remember doing this as a kid so much, just having like peasants charging into soldiers. Of course, you also have the dirt effect as well. So as the battle does unfold, soldiers will be getting messy, and it will, you know, kind of the battle will devolve in that. And yeah, just watching that assault. I think you can also turn off these trails as well, so you can also like adjust a lot of the graphics on top of that, which is nice. Yeah, and then as I said, the battles, you know, they look great. You know, they're not as good as like the locked animations of future titles, but it's decent enough. Again, you know, it's not like the worst thing in the world, and as I said, these battles do last a bit longer as well. Units do seem to like fight a bit harder. And they stay in formation as well. This is one awesome thing. If you're playing Rome, you want your soldiers to be fighting like this. You want the hoplites to be engaging in their entirety and utilizing kind of you know, better formations, which they do, and it gives you more chances to flank. It gives you more chances to fight the enemy. Granted, I think one thing as well, and I will mention it, is like the AI is still the Rome Total War AI, but Feral Interactive didn't do a great job of improving it, and you know, the Rome Resurrectum team can't really do anything about it. It is still going to be a wonky AI in some regards, and you're going to be able to dominate it in a lot of situations. So if you're looking for like a cutting edge AI that outsmarts you, this probably isn't the game for you, let alone the mod for you. However, the difficulty is going to be in, you know, defeating multiple stacks of the limited resources you have. That's going to be the challenge, right? It's not going to be just like being outsmarted in battle. It's going to be slowly being ground down, winning battle after battle, but, you know, not having the resources to cover a massive front in the armies that are coming in. And I think that, you know, that it does very much represent a lot of the older ancient kingdoms of the world, you know, of antiquity, is having the resources to be able to manage such large empires and fighting battles after battles. Even though you're winning them, you're still losing the wars. So again, I think it kind of does feed into it. But that is going to be it. That is going to be it for the video. I wanted just to bring attention to this mod. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am to dive in and mess around with this. I think this is what I'm going to be doing over my Christmas break. And I know as well that there is also a naval mod, which I imagine would work with this as well. So if you want to even play out some naval battles, I'm sure that's something you could do. And again, I'm sure there's plenty of sub-mods as well for Rome Resurrectum or Imperium Surrectum, wherever it's called. So I'm used to the older Rome Total War version of the mod. And on top of that, I'm sure there's plenty of other supplementary mods as well. So if you're looking to expand your game, I'm sure they have plenty of sub-mods. I know for a fact as well there is a naval battle mod for Rome Total War. I would guess it would work with this, but maybe they have some different ships, so maybe it's a little bit messy there. But for the most part, I'm sure it's good, as the AI just dives into my poor Romans who have been surrounded and killed. But yeah, that's going to about do it for the video. So if you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of this. Is this made you want to reinstall Rome Remastered to play this mod? Let me know in the comments if there's any other mods I should be checking out for these older Total War titles, maybe that I haven't picked up in a while. And I'll see you guys in the next one.